But it seems like this is the kind of thing people must want, just informal, where they can stay as little or long as they want.
Well, yeah, and
say
the fact
hello to each other.
Because you made it an event.
What's that?
Because you made it an event, other people could see that their friends are going.
Yeah, maybe that's it. I did that Chautauqua thing, and when I did that, it was right when the events module came out.
Yeah,
and there was so much chaos, and everybody, nobody knew how to use it. And
yeah, I popped into, well, one of them that you had set up that day. I can't remember the woman's name. I was in with her for a few minutes because I had my social media day event the day before.
Oh, okay.
And that happened to be social media day.
Oh, cool.
So
well, tell me a little bit about your business. It's all I'm doing, like I said, is just informal say hello session.
I'm social media and relationship marketing. I'm certified through the Relationship Marketing Institute with, I mentor with Mari Smith.
Oh, cool.
I've been doing, I started doing web design. I was originally like a home designer. I did interiors. And through health issues, it became necessary for me to do something that didn't require stairs.
That didn't require stairs?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Hi, Greg.
Do you have a headset?
Guys.
We're getting an echo from you, Greg. Do you have your speakers on too loud? Or?
I might, Rob. Let me check out.
I actually do the same thing.
Yeah, because what happens, you'll notice when you're talking, you'll not only see your green bar at the bottom, but the person whose speakers are freaking out, that will go green as well.
Oh, is that how that works?
Yeah.
I have the same setup. I have my speakers here.
Yeah.
I see that.
But if I have to keep them real low, or I'll cause an echo too.
Yeah. Well, mine too. I've got Bose, and they're way away from the computer.
Yeah.
Does that sound okay?
Yeah, you sound better.
Okay.
How are you doing this morning, Greg?
I'm doing fine. It's actually a little bit 1 o'clock now, so we're in the middle of our work day. So you have a nice breakfast. I'm trying to still think where I can eat lunch.
Where are you at?
Delaware.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
Okay, you and I are same time, Greg.
Okay, good. East Coast?
Yeah, I'm up in Ottawa, in Canada.
Oh, okay. All right, great.
Greg, tell us a little bit about your business.
What's that?
I said, Greg, tell us a little bit about your business.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm a family-owned and operated auto repair business. We are celebrating our 46th year in business.
Wow.
Same community. We've got a great staff. We keep real busy. We're actually having a very good year, and proud to have been remaining in this business for this long. So it's been a tough road.
Well, that's an incredible accomplishment.
Thank you.
Family businesses are great if you're in the family.
What's that?
Family businesses are okay if you're in the family. Well, there's probably some challenges if you're in the family. But I briefly worked at this hotel that my landlord owned, and it was kind of a diveish hotel. Not too bad, but it was older, sort of near the beach here in San Diego. But you know what I said to them when it finally fell apart, and it fell apart on good terms, was, I have enough trouble dealing with my own family. Having a business owned by another family is a challenge.
It's crazy. We peel paint sometimes, arguing between us, and I think I've been hired and fired at least 10 or 20 times over my time with my dad and everything. So.
Oh, you've been hired and fired 20 times. I need to put a free post.
Oh, here we go again.
What's that?
Can you maybe tilt your speakers a different way, Greg?
Are you're hearing them?
Yeah.
I might not be able to hear
hurt.
you guys if I. What if I put headsets on? Would that help?
That would make it go away.
Really?
Yeah. Depending on the mic and speaker setup you have, I don't need a headset because I've got the Logitech C910, and this is part of my business. This is what I do all day.
Okay. Now I got to find the headset.
I said there was no agenda here, really. you guys, but there is one thing I just want to broach, and Elaine, you might have some ideas on this, and it's very general. But in that Chautauqua event we tried to do a multi-hangout event.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It worked maybe 1/3 of the way. I don't want to say it sort of worked.
Yeah.
It was for a class. But I think the most insightful thing I heard in that was Debbie, I'm forgetting her last name, Swedish Debbie. She mentioned that the photographers here on Google Plus do such a great job of cooperating. They help each other sell prints. They promote each other.
Absolutely.
And small businesses and entrepreneurs, we really haven't done that here. And I've been trying. I've been throwing, everything but the kitchen sink against the wall to try to make it happen. And I mean, there's glimmers of it happening, but it really hasn't yet.
Yeah.
I wonder if you guys have any thoughts on that. Debbie thought it was just because we're all so different. I mean, there's just so much of a difference between, an automotive dealer and a software developer, and somebody's in distribution as opposed to somebody selling something directly. But I don't know. I just think it might be something more psychological than that. Maybe we're all just too independent-minded or something. Either of you guys have any thoughts on that and ways we can help each other?
Well, I know that I deal with a lot of the photogs, and I went to the first Hurl in New York City and the photo walk. We're actually doing one here in Ottawa. I find sometimes small business people are a little afraid to get too far into other people's business. Hi there. Another family member, I would think. It seems that it's not the diversification of the business per se, but I think it's just that there's a higher level of fear in small business because quite often they're either solo entrepreneurs or they're small family businesses like Greg's that they really are counting on themselves and their immediate group. And it's a big leap of faith to step outside that and really sort of open yourself up to other people. Photographers have a different sort of attitude. It's how they look through the lens. Everything they do.
They're already public, as I think.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, because there is an issue. It was just brought up, kind of peripherally, because I'm starting this little group here, and I don't know if it'll work. I've been trying things, and sometimes they work, and sometimes they don't. But it was mentioned to a guy that there's so many people working independently now. And this was mentioned by a guy, Saul, and I can't think of his last name. He lives in Japan right now. He's American in Japan. That, he's using Hangouts just to, talk about his application in the pre-launch phase. Because I think there's some sensitivity about, things being confidential or revealing too much information too early, and maybe sensitivity is too general a word, because I think it rises to the level of paranoia sometimes.
Yeah.
I think people are just too afraid. Nobody's going to run out, hear a few sentences and then run out and build the exact business you're building.
It really comes down to execution.
But people think that way.
Yeah, well, I think I have a really different approach because I believe if your intent is to be helpful and be out there, that's what's going to happen. I use Hangouts basically every day. I use it because I have a partner in Colorado. One of my businesses, we do small business mentoring in cities. And it's a relatively new company. We're only, we haven't even hit the year mark yet. But we use Hangouts to work together because as partners, we're a country apart.
I'd like to learn more about that because that sounds really good. I've done some political, I don't know what you call it, a little bit of writing. I'm not a great writer, but there are a huge number of solopreneurs here, and Greg, this doesn't really apply to you, but there are something like 40 or 50 million zero-employee companies out there. That's companies that are just run by their founder and no one else. And to tell you the truth, neither political party really is talking to them. Neither Romney or Obama. Romney's really clueless, but Obama's clueless too. They just are not talking to the vast number of super small businesses out there.
Yeah.
People have dropped out of the workforce. They talk about them politically like they've given up. They haven't given up on life. All of them are trying to do something. They've just fallen out of the system, and that's just like
so much you want to pay attention to.
What's that?
And there's only so much you can pay attention to when you're running a business by yourself, with yourself, for yourself. You don't have time to get into all the political junk that fills your head, because if you did, well, you would be at their mercy instead of at your customers' beck and call and trying to run a business. I mean, I find a little bit of balance in all my social activities, online and off, yet the primary concern goes back to focusing on the client and what they need, how to get their car repaired in a very fast time, and good turnaround. So, I mean, and as for the politics, listening to small business, I think I'm learning that it is a lot of lip service. When they say small, they've elevated the level of what they consider small from, let's say, under 25 to now small may mean 50,000.
Oh, that is just ridiculous. I mean, that is one of my... I've never heard it go to 50,000.
Yeah,
and I've heard it go to 500. But even a company that has 20 employees is huge.
Yeah, it really is.
Anyway.
And I tell you, I don't like where it's going. I put a little bit of rant on just a few days ago, or yesterday actually, with the statement that Obama had put out, basically talking about you're not successful for what you build. There's others that have come before you that have gotten you to your point. I get all the fact that, there's a sense of reliance on if a road's there, therefore a car drives on the road, the person drives the car breaks down. Well, if the road wasn't there, the car wouldn't be there, and you wouldn't own the car. And it wouldn't break down. But that's not true. I mean, we're all here because we want to be successful. We have a reason to improve upon the process, and that's our goal. So that's where we're successful.
Yeah.
And if we build something, if we make something of it, we'll build an alternative that's better, then we should be credited with that. Not
absolutely.
The government doesn't do everything.
Yeah, that was a super dumb thing to say, and I just winced. Yeah. I'm basically an Obama supporter. I think he's the right president for this particular point in our history. And I mean, it's maybe not fair, but I just find Romney creepy.
Well, it just I give credit. The guy is very personable, and he's I agree that everything about him seems to be on point to a degree. But honestly, when you see statements like that, I think you get under the head a little bit and find out exactly where his thinking really is. It's more of a collective situation than
they took the X-Acto pen and cut that out of a long statement.
Yeah,
and he tried to channel Elizabeth Warren, and she made that brilliant and beautiful, almost poetic statement about how nobody got here by themselves. And that was true.
True. Nobody.
But then taking that and I mean, even I, who am an Obama supporter, hearing that, and kind of applying it to all the struggles I've gone through, where I've gotten very, none from the government. I mean, zero.
Well, I got my crowds riled up over that one, and it's still continuing. I think on a Facebook page, on a post, there's over 38 responses from everybody chiming in, and the posts aren't one or two lines. Man, they're like novels.
Yeah, but I just can't handle right-wing people anymore. They can't govern. They have nothing positive to say ever. I know I'm going into the realm of the political here, and this is the stuff.
I hear you.
They just exhaust me. They just there's a certain level of political debate. I like engaging with conservatives, by the way, and I actually posted. I really want to know what the conservative ideas for business creation are. And I posted a super polite post. I did it on Google+, and I did it on, what's that question? It's like Quora. And it basically always boils down to the same thing, tax cuts and lesser regulations.
Right.
And there's more to it than that. What's the guy? The entrepreneur, Guy Kawasaki? Is that his name?
Yeah.
He had a great post after one of the Republican debates, because they were saying entrepreneurs aren't starting their businesses because of taxes. That is just total nonsense.
Right.
Usually you don't pay tax. Usually, you don't have much income at all when you're starting a business, so taxes are just, they're not on the list. They're on the list all the way down. Anyway, I'm ranting about politics. I'm trying to figure out why only 3 people showed up here with all the, people are still posting.
I think the initial, sorry, Greg.
Okay.
For weighing in there, but I think that initial setup has thrown people off because, like I said, I jumped into the Hangout 3 times. Excuse me, but it left me in an empty room.
People are chatting on this thing now.
I just tried to pass the link off to my partner in Colorado.
Uh-huh.
Because the one thing about when you do an on-air Hangout,
you're
probably aware, but the only person who can invite is you. You're the only one who can invite into this Hangout.
All right.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, I invited everyone to in my circles. It wouldn't let me. Well, first of all, I wasn't going to do the online Hangout. Let me finish this because I'm trying to think and talk at the same time.
Just give me a second. Hey, guys, I got to interrupt. I got to go.
No worries at all. This is supposed to be
a pleasure to meet
yes,
you, Greg.
You too.
Yeah, cool meeting you, Greg.
We'll be back.
Good.
Thanks.
Take care.
Yeah, I don't. What I was going to say is, when I did the Hangout on air, I wasn't planning on doing that originally.
Okay.
But there were so many. There were like 30 people that expressed interest. I thought, well, just in case people can't get in, obviously it's not a problem. Oh, we got another person. Hi, Julia.
Yeah, is this my partner? Oh, gussied up and everything. Look at you.
I had my pajamas on the last time we spoke, Elaine, so,
You guys know each other?
And I make gazpacho. Yeah, we work together all the time.
Oh, cool.
This is my partner in Colorado.
Oh, cool. Well, what I was saying is, so when I did that Hangout on air, I tried to make it for extended circles, and it wouldn't let me.
It won't.
I'm learning all this stuff.
You can't invite, I think it's more than 100 or 200 people to an event. There is actually a limit.
Oh, really?
Well,
yes.
The limit on actually, when you create the event and invite, that's like 1,000. I think that's why I got so many people expressing interest or saying they're not interested, because it looks like you sent something really personal to them.
Yes, it does. It does. It depends on what type, I think, too, of event you create. But I know that the Hangout, especially if you're going to do it on air, it does become a little more limited.
Oh, okay. Okay. So Julie, tell us a little bit about your world. What's your business, or what do you do?
Oh, I do internet marketing, social media, blah blah blah, and
I like the blah 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 part.
All of that blah blah blah. And I live in Colorado, and Elaine and I have been working together for how long, Elaine? First of the year, a little after that.
Oh yeah. In that company, we've been coming around for more than a year. So.
Right, but we kind of more formalized our agreement that we were going to actually work together. Right.
And that's hard to do. It's really, really hard to find a partner or co-founder. That is a huge challenge. And people that do, when you start working together really, I can't talk this morning, really cooperatively, you really can make great progress. It's amazing.
Well, and we can be all over the board sometimes, but by the same token, I think that we really have a lot. In one way, we have a lot in common, so it's easy for us to communicate pretty freely. And then on the other hand, we, probably bring different things to the table, so we're able to exchange knowledge and information, and that's helpful. So I'm not clear that we have actually furthered ourselves toward our initial goal so much, but we have accomplished a lot in the 6 months. Yes, we've done a lot of things,
and true.
It's all good stuff. So that's good. And Elaine and I actually met through the Mentor with Mari program, and we've never really met each other in person.
Yeah,
we hang out in Skype all the time though. But both of us have worked alone for so long that it's really refreshing to us to have kind of office mate situation. So sometimes we open the channel and we both work independently and just chat about stuff as we're working. And that's nice because we haven't had that. I haven't. I mean, I've been self-employed and working by myself since 1990. So.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, I have other people with Cruel Social, but they don't actually work in this office.
Right.
You know, they're all kind of satellites as well.
Right. So we have virtual people, but here in our little.
Them too.
Yeah. We're in our little zones, we're by ourselves most of the day unless we root ourselves out of the office and go somewhere, which is great, but that doesn't get the office stuff done.
Well, it's very nice to see Natalie has finally added me back.
Oh.
You know, I'm looking at these chatting things. I'm wondering if everybody's in a different hangout, which is okay,
well,
I guess.
Yeah, that's what I was concerned with, and that's why I sent Julia the actual link.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to go see Miles and see where Miles is, and because he said he was coming.
So
I screw these up every time I do this.
Tell me, Rob, what do you do?
What's that?
What do you do? Tell me about yourself.
You know, I'm a struggling entrepreneur, I guess I describe myself as. I have my last real job. I was a program manager in Silicon Valley during the end of the boom, and then I've just done a series of different kinds of jobs. You know, I mentioned I managed a hotel for a while, and then I do IT, you know, business consulting and web consulting. But you know, the gigs are few and far between, and I get them, but it's been a little bit of a struggle. Right now, I'm building a few web ventures that I hope something will happen from. One is I'm building one for startup companies, and I'm integrating a lot of Google technology. And it was originally called American Startups because I was going to try to connect with that Obama administration program. I decided I didn't like that. And so I'm rebranding that to World Startups. And I'll probably be announcing that probably in a week, maybe a little more. I'm also working with that Stanford University Entrepreneurial Technology course to try to get that going. So anyway, that's sort of what I'm doing. Did that sort of answer it?
Yeah, it does, yeah. So
I'm going to invite another person or two if you bear with me. Don't go away, okay? I don't want to lose you. Elaine, did you find out anything?
Yeah, I just sent a link to Miles. Well, he called himself Lord Parker on here.
Oh, yeah, he said he was going to join. Yeah.
He is a lord, actually, Julia.
Oh, that's really? I thought that was a gaming lord. He's an actual lord?
Oh, you're frozen.
Yeah.
Oh, you're back.
It's just, yeah. Oh, am
you
I
frozen? With
okay.
A smile on your face for a moment. You look kind of nice.
So I got.
That's probably because I have too many damn Google windows open.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, I'm Mr. Windows here.
Oh, I know.
I'm just trying.
I'm the king of frickin' Windows, I tell you.
I got my gazpacho soup made though too.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
I grabbed lunch.
My son.
Oh, he's walking the dog. He'll be here shortly.
Walking the dog. Okay.
The doggy.
Well, that's okay, you know, because I think what I learned from doing this or trying to do this time is that people don't like getting stuck in a long meeting. I think they like that duck in and duck out thing, and neither of you guys can. I mean, don't worry. It's true. I think people like that. I said, drop-ins, quick drop-ins are welcome. I just have a feeling that's what they like.
Yeah, it's true.
People here.
Well, and sometimes maybe people feel they get in and hang out and they do get a little stuck and they don't want to be rude, but they would like to leave, and things like that.
Yeah, and that's another thing I've told people, a few of them, because sometimes the saying goodbye part is this big ritual that actually kind of, disrupts things a little bit.
Right.
And I said, just kind of don't say goodbye. Just if a bunch of people, especially if a bunch of people are there.
When I'm teaching people how to use Hangouts and how to use Google+, I strongly suggest you use the chat to say goodbye because it's kind of rude to just suddenly disappear.
Yeah. Well,
and that way you're not interrupting people.
We're all learning here. I'm just inviting Laura Rubenstein. All these people are talking about being here. I guess that's okay if they're having fun in another hangout. Come to mind. Well,
let's see. Oh, yeah, there's 22 going on right now, so.
There's 22 Hangouts going on?
Yep.
Wow.
Matt?
You know this is sort of my pet peeve, and I don't want to get anybody mad that might be listening to this. But, and maybe it's just human nature, but whenever I've had any kind of event, even before there was this invitation thing,
yeah,
I don't know why people feel so obligated to tell you they're not coming. You know, it's like, I'm sorry, I clipped my toenails that day. You know. Do you have the same thing, Elaine, when you've done that, or?
I don't mind. It's nice. I think it's nice to know if they're not going to show up.
Yeah.
I guess they're just being nice. You know, I suppose that's the case.
Hey, that's a lot more than you get from a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Have a wedding. Ooh, I think I need to degauss. Look how purple I am.
You are purple.
I am. Let's turn on the light and see if that helps. Have a wedding and have people not show up. That's a little better.
These cameras never get my skin color right. I guess it looks too bad. I'm either in a purple or red, or you know, it's like.
No, you look fine.
Oh, that's good. I'm a little camera shy, and I don't think I'm very photogenic. But Julia, Elaine and I were talking earlier. Maybe I could get your take on it. One of the people in that Chautauqua event I had mentioned how well the photographers are doing supporting each other. You know, they help each other sell their prints. They help each other get new followers. They just have built a really cooperative community.
Yeah.
And I don't think the small business people have done that yet here.
Right.
Do you have any thoughts on how we could do that better, or if we can do it, or?
Well, I don't know if I have thoughts on how we can do it. I would say that part of the problem is that a lot of people have not adopted a give to get kind of attitude, and so that's a whole mindset that I don't know if you can change it. You know, I guess I just think that it's a huge world out there, and there's always clients available, but you know, we're going to connect with different people, and that's just how it's going to work. And so I don't have that territorial thing going on too much, but a lot of people do, and I don't. That's a way of thinking that I don't know that you can change in that group of people.
Yeah, then, you know, no, that's a really, really good point. We were talking earlier, or maybe I was, about how I think sometimes small businesses are a little too secretive.
Yeah.
And it just reminds me of a friend. She might be listening here, and if she is, I don't think she is, but she had this business venture, and she wanted me to help with hosting, and it was really not that big of a deal. But she wouldn't tell me what it was. And here, you know, I'm a friend of hers.
Right.
You know, we've interacted for years now. I've never met her in real life. An online friend.
Right.
That line between online friends and real friends is getting kind of blurry. But, you know, I've interacted with her enough that there should be a level of trust.
Right.
And actually, I mean, getting her to even tell me what she was doing was like pulling teeth. And finally, just let me to finish this up real quick. When I finally got her to tell me about it, there were already like 2 other ventures that were public. They were doing mostly the same thing. She already knew about them. And well, why are you keeping it? What do you think's going to happen? That I'm going to run out and steal your business? You know. So anyway.
It's interesting. Yesterday, I did say to Elaine, "There's no new ideas," and this was something that was, you know. The ancients have taken all the good ideas. They're already out there, right? And so, yeah, you might have a little twist, or you might do a little this or tweak it a little that, but the reality is that a whole new idea, you'd have to reinvent the internet. You know, I mean, you'd have to have a new something that big, really. And so I think that people hide. I think that people get really territorial again, and you're not going to change that thinking them. It's interesting, but
it's true.
That's you know, and I think that's, let's say that's half. The other half, though, I think are totally open to the support and the collaboration and all of that, but it's hard to know how to connect all the time. We do it in social, but does that really get it going? I mean, it took me saying to Elaine, I want us to work together. Can we do this? And, you know, really broaching and making it So, and and her response was, well, I got to think about it, right? And then about a week later, we kind of made up our minds.
No, well, good for you. Let me say hi to the people that just joined here. Hi, Kelly.
That's exactly what happened, is what I told you, Rob. They were in another hangout.
We were in another hangout.
Well, I hope you guys had a good hangout.
We didn't say anything bad about you, Rob. I even called yourself.
Laura!
I tell you, I blow these things every time. Hi, Laura.
Hey, Robert.
Well,
so many people had expressed interest, and I thought that, maybe we'll just have a second hangout, but you guys all went to the first one first. It's all good. How you doing, Laura?
I'm good. How are you, Robert?
I'm good. I'm kind of just waking up here.
Okay. But I have an issue,
here.
Laura. I can't see you.
Kelly, hi. Say hi to everybody, Kelly.
Hi, Rob. Hi, everyone. I've been in the other hangout, so hey.
Thank you for
you guys. That's fine. That's fine. The whole idea of that Chautauqua we did, and it didn't work very well. I mean, Amid, I hope I pronounced his name right this time, he knew about it, but we were saying, well, what if we had a multi-room hangout, where we start one main one, and then let people break off into their own little separate discussions. I think I'm going to try that again, maybe towards the end of this month. Maybe a simplified version of that, but I think it's good.
Rob, if you make sure that your main one is on air, then the other hangouts can tie into that and watch it. If you just start a bunch of little hangouts, there's no way to pull them together.
Oh, that's good to know. Okay. Yeah, I still got to figure out all the logistics on that.
Sorry, when Laura talks, I can see you in the big window, but down in the little keys, you're not there. But I did report it, so.
She flashed off.
I can see her.
But I can see her.
Hello, Chris.
Hello, how are you? I came over
good.
from the other chat as well.
Yeah, well, I said
how many
it, Rob,
people were in the other
it's
chat?
kind of funny.
Oh, I think there was 4 or 5 of
trying
us.
to get into his about 5 times.
Laura. Laura's the
I
team.
think we're all here. We're missing still one person, but we're all here.
And look, Laura is trying different hats on here.
Oh, lovely.
Well, let me bring you guys up to speed on what we've been talking about. And this really was a no-agenda meeting. I was surprised at the level of interest. It kind of caught me off guard because I thought it would just be like, a couple people interested at most. But we've been talking about a couple things. One is I'm really interested, and I'm sorry I've repeated this a few times, but Debbie from Sweden, I'm forgetting her last name, said during the Chautauqua we had, she expressed how well the photographers are cooperating here on Google+, and they're helping each other share prints, they're helping each other build their follower base. So we're exploring a little bit on why that really isn't happening with the entrepreneurial and small business community here. And we don't really have solutions yet. We've, considering a few possible reasons. One is that maybe some of us are a little too secretive, or that we're a little bit too solo and too independent-minded. Anyway, we just broached that topic is all. So if any of you have any ideas on ways we can cooperate better, I'm sure willing to listen and cooperate with any of you if you have any thoughts.
Well, you know what? I want to push Laura Rubenstein. Is it Rubenstein or Rubenstein?
I say Stein.
Okay, Rubenstein. I'll remember it.
And you would be the
Laura has a really neat business concept. You want to tell us a little bit about it, Laura?
I was telling people over on the other hangout that I'm co-founder of the Social Buzz Club. And Lane is one of our fans and friends and users and awesome promoters. And what we do is we cross-promote each other. You put in your tweet or Facebook post or LinkedIn update, and other members tweet it and share it to their LinkedIn and Facebook groups, pages, LinkedIn groups, and profile. So we get the word out about you for you, and you earn points for sharing other people's content. You redeem the points to share your own. And we love just buzzing about people. It's total collaboration. So what you're talking about, Rob. Mm-hmm.
That's a totally cool idea.
And it's a freemium model. There's freemium level and premium level and basic level. So
I didn't catch the name of it. You said Social Buzz?
Buzz.
Social Buzz. Okay.
There it is.
Cool.
And I'm an inactive freemium member.
There's something I am just starting now, and I don't know how it will work. But for people that are launching little internet ventures, I think first of all, I have some differences with the way Google Plus has done things. I think it's difficult to use for business in a lot of ways. However, the Hangouts, I believe, are absolutely game-changing. I think they're going to change the world. So what somebody recommended we do for people who are kind of in the pre-launch stage, because we were also talking in this Hangout of how hard it is to find partners and co-founders, or even just people to cooperate with. So this guy Saul, I'm spacing on his last name. He's in Japan. He recommended, and he's doing it, that we just have Hangouts to talk about each other's ventures, and I think it should be dedicated to a single venture each time. So, if we want to talk about Laura's one time or Amid's another time or whatever, and then people just figure out little ways to help. And I like the way he expressed it. He said, let's help them make them suck less. Because I didn't want to get in the thing where people expected things to be perfect or anything like that. I like that way he said, let's help each other make them suck less.
Well, you know what? Your concept is slightly like a BNI, but for ideas. And I like that.
BNI, that sounds familiar. What is that?
Business Networking International. It's an in-person, one person per business category, meets weekly kind of networking group.
Okay.
So, can be a good group. It's $600 a year, probably, at least by the time you pay and go.
It's actually more than that up here.
Yeah, well, it depends on if you eat or not and all what you do. I was in one for about 3 years, and it was good. I made some. I have some friends that came out of it that I'm still connected with.
That's a chunk of coin, though. God, $600. I do remember that.
Well, and it's about 3 hours.
But the Hangout can replace that.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's what we're saying. It'd be like a BNI for free.
Right. Well, and one of the other things that Elaine and I do, I have a group of women, and I brought Elaine in on this a while ago, but we came out of another little social media program that we had all done. We didn't know each other at all, and it started off with a woman wanted to do an accountability partner. A lot of people responded, and then indeed very few people were actually accountable, and so it's boiled down to be now Elaine, another woman from, that I met through Mari, and then a couple of women from the original group, and we have a call. Usually we're doing now 10 o'clock on Monday mornings, and we try to talk about what have we done that week, what have we, what problems are we having. Sometimes we just shoot the breeze, but it's almost always around, work stuff, and so things to do with our industry and things like that. So just even getting together and having that hour of collaborating and chatting and, what's happening, or I tried this and it didn't work at all, what did you do, kind of stuff. That's been great. And it's
I got to say that, doing things face-to-face makes all the difference in the world. I took that Stanford Entrepreneurial Technology class. Actually, I'm still taking it. They're actually having a hang-up now. I'm not in. But one of the things they really emphasized is just get your face in front of customers and people and ask questions as often as you possibly can. And test, experiment and test hypotheses. But one of the things we looked at in that course was we were looking at the startup weekend. One of our members noticed they don't have any kind of community platform. Well, I know how to do that. So I just jumped on it. Let's look at that. So we started looking at the whole startup weekend process. You guys know what that is? People, it's sort of like BMI or whatever, but people meet in a room for a whole weekend for 50 hours, or in some conference room, and it's catered. It's a nicely done event, and then they actually will start little companies that. But there's a couple things we found out from this class. One, everybody has to be in the same city, and they've done absolutely nothing virtually. They don't do any video cam stuff. So, its strength is that it's a real-world event, which is great. But there's so much opportunity out there by being able to, communicate with people in different cities. We're all in different cities. Nobody here is in San Diego. So, we were starting to look at the possibility of doing some kind of, somebody mentioned a virtual startup weekend. And we know that people couldn't have their camera on for a whole weekend. But another use of this technology would be something like, you know, getting people through a process on startups. And it might be like more of a structured, like, you know, 12-hour thing or 18-hour thing, but I mean the possibilities are really endless. Anyway, I'm yakking too much. You guys go ahead.
I like it.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it'd be a lot of work to set something like that up. It wouldn't happen just by, you know, hanging out and talking about it. You'd have to have the right speakers and the right setup. But
I
really want to just put everything on the table, explore how we can cooperate. So even though, you know, this meeting had no agenda, if anyone else has any thoughts.
I got a question for Julia. Julia?
Yeah.
Julia, and actually it's a / suggestion, Rob. I ask this question almost in all Hangouts, which is, have you figured out how to make some money with this stupid stuff? And I mean, one of my strengths is SEO. I can have you up on Google in 33 minutes sometime, depending how competitive is the word. And I don't promise anything on Google. But the thing is, we know this crap. All of us know this crap really well. How can we monetize it? And I'd like to hear from people who have figured out how to get in. I wouldn't mind if I hear some numbers. Hey, I'm making $2,000 a month. I'm making $10,000 a month. I find people are scared like heck of what we do. I walk into a legal firm the other day, and the guy was like, whoa, you're the devil.
Because they don't understand it. And I think the biggest problem, and I see this again and again with clients and everyone, is that, I mean, the world. We're really immersed in this, and, you know, I said this to Mari one day. Well, that we say to one another, that's a week-old news. Who cares? You know what? I have clients that still want to understand privacy from what started up last October with all the changes that came out of F8. They don't get it, and so they're afraid of it. Or they think they know it because they're using Facebook personally, things like that. And it's a misconception, in my opinion, of what it is and how it works. And you know, they don't. And it's interesting because, you know, did you guys all see the Coke, the cool Coke infographic thing that they did? Laura, you probably saw it because it was posted in the mastermind group. Kevin posted it. It was super cool, and it was a video, and they're talking about, it's 3 months ago, 4 months ago, and they're talking about how they have decided that the way to use the internet is that they're really going to build relationships. And I'm thinking, yeah, what have you, you know, where have you been spending your budget for the last 4 or 5 years, whatever you're doing? Corporate America, I mean, and Kevin works for Google TV, right? And he's like, they don't get it. So, you know, there's all of us entrepreneurial people, and we're really steeped in it, and we know what's going on, and we're using it all the time. But you got a lot of corporate people that are clueless, and then you have a lot of small business people. I mean, they're clueless because they just really haven't embraced it. And then you've got a lot of small business people, I think, that are afraid of it. And it's difficult. I think educating the client is like the one biggest thing we need to do.
Yeah, I agree. I do think one of the problems with small business, I don't know the corporate end of it, I find the big brand pages on Google+, I mean, maybe this is a smaller issue, to be kind of a pain in the ass. I mean, it's just another place to put content. We're already overwhelmed with, you know, we're all social media experts here. We're already all overwhelmed with the amount of content we have to post everywhere. That's still another place, and it doesn't give that much functionality in return.
Well, right at the moment, the Google Plus business pages are simply for broadcasting, and there are going to have to be changes. And that's something that they're definitely talking about, because having it a one-way street is really not what it's about. But in answer to what Amit said, I guess I am totally different than most people. I'm the ultimate Pollyanna, and I believe if what you put out there is positive, that's what you get back. In the space of 4 sentences, Amit, you called it crap. You said it was junk. You said it was, like, you were just so negative. It breaks my heart.
No, I don't think that was
It breaks my heart that you need to really embrace what you do. Have fun. Have fun with what you do. And the clients, I swear to God, they'll fall at your feet. There's no way I will offer you what I make, but I can tell you I absolutely have monetized everything I do here.
Well, I'd like to learn the secret, because I sure haven't. But let me talk about Amit, and it's long E, by the way. Everybody does that wrong.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
But Hamid had a venture. I don't know what happened to it, but I thought it was really cool. And I saw it when I first met him. I did his very first hangout. He turned the camera on by accident. But he had this thing where he was interviewing entrepreneurs, and it would be actually a split screen, and you know, he would do the interview and basically throw in the you know, the small business person or the entrepreneur softball questions, which is kind of cool. And it gave them experience on camera. I'm not great on camera. And I mean, could you tell us what happened to that? It was Go TV.
Well,
what was it called?
I was speaking to Elaine a little bit earlier about to Laura a little bit earlier about my frustration. I created that space for 600 authors that are my friends that were going through training. These are people that haven't figured out how to monetize themselves. And you're right, the questions were softball. The questions were the 11 points of a sales letter. I figured all these guys are never going to figure out how to make their own sales letter. So if you edit my voice and my picture out of those questions, you will actually end up with about 5 minutes Frank Kern sales letter. Okay? The 11 points that Frank teaches. Now, I don't follow Frank because he cusses a lot, but he is an awesome marketer for those that do follow him.
He is.
And what I wanted to do is take all 600 of us and have us cross the finish line. My real frustration was I couldn't get them to share. Because if you take 600 people with 1,000 followers, that's 600,000 followers instantly. Before you go to step 2, you literally can reach the world using 600 people who are interacting. So the concept's still there. It's called tvshowhow.com. I believe it'll be the TV of tomorrow. And I use Google Plus for the entire thing. The only difference is on my desktop, I used ScreenFlow to record, and I used a Macintosh editing software called...
How did you do the split screens part? How did you have to...
ScreenFlow records it as 2 channels, and you can decide who's going to look bigger and who's going to look smaller. So what I did is I took my channel, made it look exactly the same as them, and we looked like we were almost in the same room the whole time.
Cool.
And that's all I did. I used Google Plus and ScreenFlow. You're welcome to learn the trick. But my biggest frustration was becoming the television that I wanted to become, using all of us as a television. And Laura's got the concept. I think hopefully it's going to get us past that. Does that make sense, Laura?
Yeah. You want to buzz about each other, we can. I'm not sure about what you mean about using...
That's all I wanted. I created all these episodes. Like one of them is how you get on Google's page 1. Me and Troy Dean from Australia do an interview. It's really awesome. But, you know, only so many 100 viewers come to the site. So how could you make it so it goes through the roof right away? You like to go to a place that creates buzz like you and instantly say, hey, guys, get the word out. Okay, right. It's called advertising. Hello?
You know, part of it, I don't think we can come up with quick answers on any of this stuff. I love what you're doing, Amit. I think it's really cool. I think what Laura's doing really cool. I think the important thing, really, and this sounds a little hokey, is that we just keep talking to each other. And we just, you know, I was saying earlier, I think the reason so many people expressed interest in this meeting, which I just said, hey, quick coffee break, is because I just made it really non-committal. Like, nobody has to stay. You know, you could just come for 2 minutes and say hello. But I think as we go on, we're going to get to know each other more as people, and I think that's only going to help. You know, I don't think we'll come up with some magic bullet during this conversation, but I think we just got to keep doing this more, basically. You know, and other people host it, not just me, and we've got to find a way to share better those events. I don't know if you guys know Milani, and I'm bad on last names. But she's doing Business Hangouts Friday. They're very nicely done. You know, so maybe we should just start sharing each other's and getting the word out on each other's events where we're all talking. That might be one small thing we can do.
Yeah.
I thought I shocked everybody into silence.
That's what you can do on Social Buzz Club, too.
I'll let you say something. What do you do, Chris? I don't really know that much about you.
Well, what I do is I run a business doing web design, development, strategy. We also go off web and do things like app development. Right now we're doing a photography-based iOS app for a client that's actually in review with Apple right now. So we're hoping to hear back soon from them. And then also on the complete opposite, not even related side of the spectrum, which I didn't tell the first group in our original hangout about, is I run an aquaculture business in the Florida Keys where we build artificial coral reefs.
How cool is that?
Wow, that's awesome.
So I'm actually working on expanding that business right now with...
Now, is that actually, when you build coral reefs, do you mean not out in the ocean, but in a separate thing on land, or what do you mean by that?
No, actually, we actually operate 2 current plots that we lease from the federal government now, which are 60 feet below the surface. And we build coral reefs, artificial coral reefs, out of terrestrial rock. So rock that we take
now, is that for just environmental good, or do you farm that, or what?
Basically, the concept, it is a business model. But it's a green business model, I guess you would call it. So the idea behind it is the rock that we use is basically called live rock. Now, anybody that's familiar with saltwater fish tanks knows that live rock is the main biological filtration for a saltwater fish tank. So basically, before 1994, someone could go out into the Florida Keys and harvest actual pieces of the existing reef. In 94, the government outlawed harvest of natural live rock, they call it. So at that point, folks that were doing live rock collection decided, okay, we're going to have to keep this business going, but we can't harvest natural live rock. So what they did was they switched over to taking terrestrial live rock, planting it, seeding it, turning it into live rock. Now most people, as an aside, most people question, well, what does it mean live rock? The rock obviously itself isn't alive. It's the biological elements, the bacteria and stuff on the rock.
That's what coral is, right?
Right. Coral is actually a living specimen. But the rock itself is called live rock due to what's alive on the rock, which actually is a biological filtration itself.
Well, that sounds incredibly cool. It really does.
So basically, it's
what's terrestrial live rock?
Terrestrial live rock is, for instance, we source our rock that didn't, well, I guess most rock around the world was ultimately formed with water originally. But what we do is we take rock that isn't currently in the ocean, because it's actually illegal to do that now. So we take rock from out west, the deserts out west. We source rock from the Lake Okeechobee area of Florida. We take rock from the Bahamas. So rock that used to be a coral reef and most likely was a reef at some point, but has now, housed as the...
Now, I assume you're a diver and you
absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, God. What? That's a sexy business. My businesses are always so boring. Hey, listen, guys. I had meant this really to be a hello meeting, a maximum of a half hour. We're coming close to an hour now, and I know you were all in an earlier hangout. So let me give everybody one last chance to say their piece, and we're going to do this again. I think I might do more of a meet and greet type thing next week, something similar, because I think people like this format. Anybody want to say anything? Julia, you have anything else to say?
Nice to see you all.
Laura, any parting shots?
Yeah, great to meet everybody and get to know you. This was really interesting. It was one of my first hangouts. Thanks for putting this together. Oh, sorry. I'm on mute?
No, we can hear you.
Oh, okay, great. Thanks for being here.
Amit, any parting shots?
Great to see you always.
Well, a pleasure, meeting all of you.
Down an hour.
Several of you haven't met in person yet, so that's been great. I mean, an hangout person. I'm having trouble with my language in describing this. I feel like I've met you in person.
I like your your pictures on your profile.
Me?
Yep.
Like I said, I don't consider myself very photogenic. I'm a little bit camera shy, but
No, go look at your profile.
Kelly, we're kind of winding things down. It looks like you just jumped back in. But you have any parting shots for us, sir?
It's been nice to meet all of you.
Where are you? Are you from Australia? Where are you from, Kelly?
No, I'm from England.
You're from England. Okay. What time is it?
I'm currently in Canada.
Oh, that's right. You told us that.
In Alberta, yeah.
Okay. Well, we're going to do this again, absolutely. And, you know, I'll go to your hangouts, and if I host them, you guys obviously are welcome to come to mine. But, again, pleasure meeting all of you. I'm going to bow out now. If you want to keep talking, that's fine. But it's been exactly an hour now. And it's sort of like when I heard, just a digression here, when you go to the gym, if you go there, you know, if you haven't been for a while, and then you spend 3 hours there and you wipe yourself out, then you just don't go back. I think hangouts are a little bit the same type of thing. So when I say I want to keep them short, I do try, because I think we should do them more often. So guys, have a great day. Pleasure meeting you all again, and we'll be seeing you soon.
Thanks, Rob.
Bye, San Diego.
Bye.